While reflecting on my semester in South Korea, I couldn't help but think about certain adventures. There was a weekend where some friends and I got an Airbnb just outside of Seoul, though we did not gauge the true remoteness of the venue, and our driver dropped us off at a mountaintop cabin where no taxis or buses were available. We had no food and no drinkable water. We were literally stranded. After settling in, we walked down a bit and found a ghost town. In desperation, I knocked on the door of a closed restaurant and a wary older couple came out looking very perplexed. After assessing our situation, they made us all an incredible meal and, in a van fitting 9, they drove us half an hour away to the nearest grocery store. They also agreed to drive us the next morning to a new area in which we could hike to an extreme sports park and access the bus line. We were saved. This escapade sparked my thoughts. I began to realize undertones of collectivism and nurturance of the Korean culture, as the couple prioritized our group's well-being over their individual convenience while caring for us in an especially nurturing fashion. I became intrigued by this realization, and I began to observe unique Korean cultural values in areas where I'd elsewise overlook. I assumed a certain mindset which widened my perspective, inducing a sense of cultural competence. In this development, most importantly, I was able to act accordingly. Weeks later, while on a beach in Sokcho, some friendly Korean people came over to my group and we talked for a bit. They oddly asked us how many people we were hanging out with. Having a keen sense of cultural awareness and knowledge of high-context Korean culture from a class I was taking, I realized that they wanted to join us. They were communicating indirectly according to this high-context nature of Korea, in which exchanges rely heavily on context and less on actual verbiage. I invited them to merge their picnic area with ours, and I could tell immediately it was indeed what they sought. We had an awesome night together full of games, karaoke, and a late-night swim. In summary, I want to give a brief taste of the adventure involved in studying overseas. We live so much of our lives in a bubble, feeling safe, minimizing risk, maximizing certainty, but missing out on learning opportunities and memory making. I aim to oppose this notion through adventure. Adventuring clears the mind, fortifying mental health, and filling the void with unpredictable, exciting experience. It teaches the important skill of taking calculated risks while decision-making, and it yields lessons you'd never learn from the comfort of a classroom, all while having a blast. Do you really want to look back on your life with nothing unique to smile about? Put down the phone, close the textbook, and find some fresh air to breathe.
Is that true? Girl,